Grand Rising Loves. This is the altar spread for the collective today. Happy Saturday. And so the sacred geometry that showed up for today is infinity. And infinity speaks about our growing awareness that we are not what we perceive ourselves to be, and that our true nature is actually unknowable, unfathomable, boundless, and the dimension that we are existing in is so limited. But our true awareness knows at least that thing, that we are existing in a limited space for a limited amount of time as boundless beings. And so we enter this dimension, this existence, for such a passing glimpse of a moment in our spiritual selves. And in the spiritual realm, it literally is a blink. It's not the length that we believe it is in the human experience, because the energy and frequency becomes so dense here, it lengthens it. And because we limit ourselves by the mind, we believe that it's long and slow and prolonged. And really, it's a comet. It's just really a blink. And so infinity talks about our growing awareness in that, and knowing just how much we really don't know. And I love that message, because when we start to realize there is so much we don't know, the unknown becomes our best friend. Because then anything that's not unknown, we become comfortable in the idea that what's beyond our knowing is far more phenomenal than we could have ever dreamt up. And so when we surrender to that, we enter a state of bliss that transcends emotion. And that's the frequency of love that we are meant to return to. That's the frequency of love that we are. And so completion showed up today in the reverse. Completion talks about the commendation of a graduation, of a level, of a lesson. And once you reach a level of completion, you can move on, shedding that old self, a rebirthing, and just letting go now into this newness. But showing up in the reverse says, you are holding on to the old. You're dragging around dead skin. And maybe you're resistant to just allowing that fresh pink skin to touch air. And so it says, let go of any responsibility for anyone else and be responsible for you, to move past expired experiences and really to commend yourself in the completion and to let go. Let go. It's time to let it go, to move on. That which you have completed cannot move on with you into this newness. And if you won't let it go, it'll weigh you down, impede your evolution, and possibly cause a standstill in your growth. So let it go. Cutting off the sandbags to gain the greater loft, the higher flight. And so water showed up, and I love the lessons of water. Water talks about the fluidity of us and our emotion, but also our path in the human experience, our infinite boundless self. And water teaches us so much. And I use this analogy a lot, the droplet of water coming from the sky, and it freezes in flight in its drift downward and becomes this beautiful sacred geometry of a crystal. And it floats to the ground, and it stands still until it's just warm enough to melt it back into the earth, so that the earth can become saturated and then evaporate back into the sky and continue its path. But the same water that is drunk in Brazil is the same water that is being used to shower in Europe, is the same water that is being swam in the Americas. And it's the same water that the ships sail on, or that rains down in the Saharas. It's all the same. And water has been scientifically proven to hold memory. And if you can change the molecular structure of water by infusing it with love, that love frequency of the completion, imagine what you can do to a human, to a tree, to plants, animals, rain, the sea. It is unknowable. Possibilities are unknowable, unfathomable. So the challenge is returning to the love frequency. And I love to sum all of that up, the lessons of the spread that Ho'oponopono showed up. The immeasurable power of the heart way, because love, I've always believed, is the true alchemy. It's the sorcerer's stone. The sorcerer's stone. It's not turning lead into gold, but transmuting all matter back to love. Can you do it? Can you let go and surrender to the point where you again embody that love frequency to transmute anything that comes into contact with you? Anything touched by your spirit, your aura, your frequency. And when you embody that level of unity and love, your voice, your essence, your very being infects everything in its vicinity with love. And the reach is boundless. That is our purpose in the human experience, to return to that. To return to that. And so Ho'oponopono talks about the unknowable. Immeasurable is infinite. The infinite power, the unfathomable power of love. And we do that by loving everything that's out of harmony, that shows up in our reality, by taking responsibility for it. Because if it's showing up in your reality, you've created it. You have created it. And so the disharmony that I'm experiencing right now is the rejection of love. And so I go deeply into my darkest corners to find the part of me that is creating a wedge for love. And I feel deeply I can feel it transmuting right now. So powerful. I can feel deeply that I've created a doubt around my ability to receive. And so I reject it. For myself. And so I say to that trauma, that pain, that cell memory, I love you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me.